Evelyn's cooking show. Today we are making banana bread. So we're gonna start off with the pans. We want butter in the pans so the banana bread doesn't stick to it and we can't get it out and eat it. So you would have to like stick your face in there. But on the recipe, I have 2 pans, but on the recipe it says 8x4 on the bottom, but I have 7x4 if you look at it with a ruler. And if I put all the mix in here, it would all like come out and it would make a big mess. So I have an extra one. And if you don't have like an extra one and you don't have the 8x4, you can always just make a few muffins or cupcakes if you want. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so now these are the ingredients we will be using. And I have a bowl, and these are the utensils we will be using. Whisk and a spatula. Okay, so 1 stick of butter, which should be melted, looks like this. And 1 stick of butter is 1/2 cup. And then we're going to use 1 cup of light brown sugar, and then we're going to use some mushed bananas here, and then 2 big eggs, and then we'll use vanilla, and then we use salt, and then we will use cinnamon, and then we use nutmeg, and then baking soda, and then baking powder, and then flour. So my flour is gluten-free, but you can use any flour if you want. Okay, so I'm going to start by pouring the butter in like this. Okay, just get it all in there. Try to make it not drip that much. And then we're going to pour this sugar in. Whoop, she's just falling like that. And then we're going to whisk this together and make it all smooth. Okay, so just wait till it's all smooth. So it should look like this. Should get a little bit like gooey. It's supposed to look like that. So just keep mixing till it's all good. All the lumps are out and it is smooth. Okay, so I mixed out and it looks smooth now. Okay, so I'm going to take this out and put it on my table. Next, we are gonna put the bananas in. So I'm gonna pour them in like this, down low. So the bananas are in. I put 4.5 bananas in there because that's all I had. So we have bananas in there. Now we're gonna crack some eggs. So I'm gonna crack them just like this. Crack them like that, and I'm gonna crack them in there. I'm gonna let them like that, and then I'm gonna crack them like you're knocking down the door or something. You wanna crack it. Try to make sure no shells are in there. Okay, so the next thing we are gonna do is put vanilla in. So for the vanilla, well, we're gonna stir this actually first with the whisk again, and then we're gonna stir this. So it should all get stirred in until it's all mixed and it all looks weird. I would not recommend to eat this before the eggs are ready because there is eggs in here. So I would wait till it is mixed and cooked and all that stuff. Okay. Not raw. So I'm just going to keep mixing. And it should look like this. The banana lumps are normal. Okay. The next thing we are going to do is we're going to put vanilla in. But I'm going to tell you how much we are going to put in. We are going to put a teaspoon in, just like this. So I'm going to open up this bottle and I'm going to put it over the egg things in case I spill a little. Just like that. So I'm going to pour that in now. So that should taste good. Okay. Now I'm going to mix that around with my whisk again. So after I use this, I'm going to use my whisk. Now I'm going to mix this around. So now it should look a little bit browner, and it looks good. So next we're going to start with our dry ingredients. We're just going to sprinkle a few things in here and dump some things. So I am going to do 1 teaspoon of salt in here. So I'm going to do this with my finger. I'm going to make sure it's just on the top like that. Okay? And then I'm going to sprinkle that in. Okay. And then now this is 1 teaspoon, but I'm just going to all put it in here. And here, so it all gets in there. Cinnamon needs to be in here. Okay. I'll just make sure that's all in there. And then we're going to do a pinch of nutmeg. A pinch is like, if I got it here. This is like a, oh, 1 second. This is like a pinch. I'm just going to pinch some in there. Okay, so we're just doing a pinch. And then I'm going to do some baking soda. So how I use baking soda is, so I put my I'm going to do 1 teaspoon for baking soda. And on the cardboard, I'm going to scrape like this. If you don't have cardboard on yours, you can always just use a knife. And I'm going to dump that in. And then I have baking powder here. So if you don't have a metal thing, same thing, just use a knife. And I'm going to do 1 teaspoon of baking powder. Just like that. Okay, now I'm going to dump the...
Nope.
Now I'm going to mix it just like this until it's all in there. Just want it all in there. As soon as you can't see your baking powder, please stop and count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And don't do overmix because you might get something wrong. And we don't want overmixed stuff. Okay, so keep whisking. Try to get all that white stuff on the sides. You might want to switch to a spatula. I'm going to. But when you do, try to get all that stuff in there so we can all mix it together. So I'm going to switch to get all that white stuff in there. And as soon as it disappears, you are good. And you can be great with what you're doing. So now mine looks wonderful. Okay, so okay, now that it's mixed, you are gonna put this into a prepared bowl, only a 1/2 inch, so like right here in this butter streak, right there. So I am gonna put it right here. Don't put too much in, or because remember when we put the batter in, it will come up when you bake it. So I'm gonna start by putting this in. I'm gonna just like pour that in till the butter streak. So I can tell. I'm gonna pour a little bit in, just like this. Now I'm gonna put this back here and stop right there and see how much is in there because you might think it's more than you want. Okay, so now I'm gonna spread this out a little bit. Okay, so now I am almost to the butter streak, so I'm just gonna get a teeny bit more. Okay, so your oven should already be at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. And now we are gonna sprinkle some. You're gonna want some sugar in the raw on top. You're gonna want this to make some crisp yumminess on top. Okay, so now and you're gonna bake the banana bread for 55 to 65 minutes. Okay, so now I'm just gonna sprinkle this on, so like this, just like that. On both of them, you're gonna, or just one of them, how many bowls you have, or how many muffins you have. So I'm gonna sprinkle this. Okay, now I'm gonna put some on this one. It's okay if it gets all over because you're sprinkling it, so. It makes a delicious lid, like a crispy lid. Okay, so now we're gonna bake it. Since this one is done early, I'm gonna cut it and show you what we do after it's ready. So I'm gonna take a small table knife and I'm gonna cut around the edges just like this. So I'm gonna go down, turn around, down, turn around, and then I'm gonna go down, just like that, and then I'm gonna go down, just like that. Okay, so now I'm gonna cut a teeny little piece down, so I'm just gonna go like that. And then I'm gonna take my spatula, and I'm gonna help pull this out, just like this, and I'm gonna use my finger a little bit too. Just like that, so now I have my piece. And it looks really crunchy because we have all that crunchy stuff there now. Okay, so I'm gonna put this in here, but do not put your tin foil over this because we don't want this moist. We want this moist. I'll show you. We want this moist, not the top where it's crunchy. It'll make it soggy then. We don't want soggy banana bread. So I'm gonna just roll it like this and put it over it just a teeny bit. And now it's like that. And now I'm gonna butter mine. So I'm just gonna take some butter. Now it's buttered. Okay. Thank you for watching my show. Hope you enjoy your banana bread.